Very happy to have Lynne Sabean with us today. Lynne is the marketing manager for the Capital Center for the Arts. Beautiful theater in downtown Concord. We hope that most people that are listening have been there, but if not, there are many, many reasons to go. And Lynne, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it.
It's a pleasure to be here, Ken.
It is our pleasure. And in a few moments, we'll be talking about a great show that's coming to the Capital Center for the Arts at the end of the month, August 26th. So you still have a little time to plan. But I understand it's called Legacy, and it's an exciting new live show that celebrates the influence of Irish and Celtic music around the world and the imprint that such music has made. Make your plans soon, I would have to say, because I understand from what you told me, tickets are going pretty quickly.
The tickets have been selling very briskly. We do have tickets left for Celtic Thunder fans. And even if you've seen Celtic Thunder before, there has been a recent cast change. So odds are you have not seen this show.
There you go. That's the Legacy Tour of Celtic Thunder. And you can check it out August the 26th. And as a matter of fact, the good news is we're going to be giving away a pair of tickets today. So just listen for your opportunity to call. 1-866-823-1077 is our number. Not right now. We'll tell you when. And that is August the 26th. So make your plans as soon as possible. So what else prior to that do we have at the Capital Center for the Arts?
Well, Celtic Thunder is one of the highlights of our 2016-17 season, which just recently started. This month, we also have Impact Children's Theater that will be doing a production of The Little Mermaid. They are an absolutely fabulous group. They do their own take on classic children's fairy tales. They've been with us for the past 9 weeks. The Little Mermaid is their last show for the season. There are shows at 11 o'clock and 2:30 next Tuesday on the 9th. So beat the heat, come on in, take the kids. It's a very family-friendly show. After the production, the cast makes themselves available for a meet and greet.
Oh, that is fabulous. Now, we're talking about youngsters between what ages?
We have people bringing in strollers.
Really? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's held in our Governor's Hall, so it holds up to 250 people or so. You sit on the floor, and they do the presentation for you. That
is terrific. And that will be Tuesday, August 9th. That would be next Tuesday. And a couple of performances at 11 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. of The Little Mermaid. It's a great movie, and I'm sure it will be great on stage as well.
It is, and our schedule picks up in September. On September 10th, we have Government Mule coming in. They're a great band. On the 16th, we have Guster. On the 22nd and the 23rd...
Now, Guster, by the way, I didn't realize this. Guster formed at Tufts University.
They're local New England boys.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, since 1992. Mm-hmm. That is a long time.
And it's one of those kind of bands that when you hear them play on the radio, you go, oh, I didn't know they did that. I love this song.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I think the showgoers are going to have a fabulous night.
Had no idea they were relatively local from Tufts University in beautiful Medford, Massachusetts. So who else do we have coming in, Lynn?
Well, on the 22nd and the 23rd, we have somebody that a lot of your listeners may know, psychic Lauren Rainbow.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lauren was on this show for quite some time and is terrific at what she does. And she, really, I've seen her live stage show many times, a few times anyway, three or four times. And she just amazes you, truly amazing. So check that out, Lauren Rainbow, September 22nd. And did you say 2 appearances?
2 nights, the 22nd and the 23rd.
Oh, outstanding.
That's going to be held in our Spotlight Cafe, which is essentially a pop-up venue that we have in our Governor's Hall.
Yeah, and great spot to see a show like Lauren's or a music event as well. Mm-hmm. I've seen many local performers there over the years, so always a great show at the Spotlight Cafe.
Well, also with the building as historic as the Capitol Center, who knows who's going to be talking to her that night?
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. You're absolutely right. Lynne Sabean with us, the marketing manager from the Capitol Center for the Arts in downtown Concord. And joining us now is Damian McGinty of Celtic Thunder. And Damian, we welcome you to the Pulse. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, sir. How are you?
I am doing very well, and Lynne Sabean is here too from the Capitol Center for the Arts, and I imagine you're looking forward to coming to Concord at the end of the month.
Absolutely, we can't wait. It's going to be a great time. You know, we're visiting you guys quite early on in the tour, so there is sure to be a lot of energy, and it's always a great place, and we always get a great reception up there. So I'm very excited.
Now, where are you calling us from today, Damian?
I'm currently in Los Angeles at the moment.
Okay. Very good, very good. Are you getting ready for the tour, or has it begun already?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's always, you know, there's in behind the scenes, there's always a lot of preparation that is involved in such a big operation. So me personally, I was in Europe and I've been working on a record that's getting released in October. And then I'm meeting up with the Celtic Thunder gang next week to start rehearsals for the tour. So I'm very, very excited.
Damian, where are you from originally?
From Ireland, Derry, up north.
Very good. And I know a lot of people will probably recognize your name from Glee, where you spent a couple of years.
Absolutely, yeah. It was, a few years ago now. It was a great experience. I mean, I loved it. It was very different than Celtic Thunder or performing in theater, or, you know, it was performing on TV. You have to be a lot smaller and, you know, sort of condense your performance. So it was certainly very different, but I loved it. It was a great learning experience, and I'm incredibly grateful for that particular opportunity, you know.
And that kind of put you on the map, I would have to say.
Yes, that sort of changed things for me. So
yeah,
to say the least. So as I say, it was really great, and I loved every minute of that.
And Damian will be in Concord for Celtic Thunder, the Legacy Tour, on August the 26th. So tell us what we might be expecting on the 26th.
We are. I believe. I think we all believe. There's a genuine belief amongst us that this is going to be one of the best shows we've ever done. The idea behind Legacy is what Celtic Thunder has done over sort of the last 9 or 10 years, and the legacy we look to leave behind eventually. So there's so many classic Irish songs in there. There's now, of course, our own classic that have become classic Celtic Thunder songs. But then there's a flavor of new stuff, newly written stuff. And we've got a new member with us this time also, which always adds an extra element. So as I say, we're very excited. It's an incredibly live experience. And it's very raw and it's very organic, and what you see is what you get with Celtic Thunder. And as I say, we're very excited to bring Legacy on the road.
So who is the new member of your cast?
Michael. So Michael joined us only a few months ago, and it's going to be this is his first tour. So Michael O'Dyer is his name, and it's very, very exciting to have someone new on board, because, you know, it always brings an element of freshness and an element of this is his first time, and, you know, it's always exciting to have someone else on board.
Oh, no question.
So we're excited to present him to the world, and I'm sure he's excited to show off what he's got, you know.
Yeah, and I'm sure there will be some veteran performers as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, there absolutely is. Ryan Kelly, Neil Byrne, Emma Cahill, myself, and Michael. That's the lineup. So there's, you know, Ryan and Neil have been there from day one now. Emmett joined a little bit later. He's been there for 4 or 5 years. And then obviously myself, I was part of the original lineup before leaving for a few years. I did Glee and, you know, experienced television and made a few records and all that stuff. And now I'm back for the Legacy Tour, and that's incredibly exciting. And I'm excited to see fans again and to meet up with old faces and sort of, you know, meet up where we left off previously. So it's going to be a great time, and we're all looking forward to it.
Damian, this show has been very successful so far in terms of sales with both longtime Celtic Thunder fans and newcomers. For someone that has never been to a Celtic Thunder's show before. What else can they expect?
They can expect, I think the thing about Celtic Thunder is that it's not necessarily just, you're not going for just a musical experience. We always try and present ourselves as a brand and put on an experience. So whether it be visual, whether it be, we always bring along big sets. We have some great acts. We really try and present a visual experience as well as obviously a concert. So I think the thing about Celtic Thunder, and that's the brand built in the last 9 years, is that we try and make it as spectacular as possible in every sense of that meaning. So as I say, we try and make it bigger, we try and make it better, we try and add new elements, we try and add freshness, we try and add new ideas to keep it fresh. Because of course, for a brand that's going 9 years, it's really important to have the element of freshness. You can't let it go stale. You have to keep progressing it. You have to keep moving it forward. So in terms of Celtic Thunder itself, that is what people can expect. They can expect to be hopefully wowed visually, as well as really enjoying the music and the concert experience.
In what directions do you see Irish and Celtic music going forward, and how will Celtic Thunder embrace that?
It's always sort of changing. It's an incredibly flexible. It's an incredibly flexible part of the music industry, I think, because now that there is certainly a new element of Celtic music coming in. I mean, us ourselves, Celtic Thunder, we progressed a lot in the last 9 years. When we started, we were doing a lot of the older stuff. We were doing potentially some, slower material and maybe a little more serious. Whereas 9 years later, we've now mixed that in with a bit of youthfulness, a bit more fun. We do a lot of numbers that have a decent amount of choreography in them. So I think an element of the Celticness moving forward is that we are bringing in younger material. We are bringing in younger songs. The Celtic industry at the moment is, there's so many great acts out there, whether it be the Celtic Tenors, whether it be Celtic Woman. There's so much going on right now. It's in a rich period, and we try and pay homage to Celtic, and we try and pay homage to Ireland and Scotland, and that's exactly what we're doing with Legacy. We've got From Heartland, which was written by our original musical director Phil Coulter, which is the show opener, which is really a booming anthem, to Ireland's Call, which is an obvious, a classic, to Falling Slowly from the musical Once, to we add in some pop songs. We do some Neil Sedaka. Breaking Up is Hard to Do. So there really is an element of everything in there.
So you're really all over the place, huh?
A little bit, yeah. And
yeah.
I mean, this tour as well, there's 77 cities. So that's quite large. So it's going to be, I think it's one of the most exciting tours Celtic Thunder has ever embarked on. And I know I can speak from all of us that we're very excited to get started.
Well, we mentioned the fact that you were on Glee as Rory Flanagan, and I'm sure a lot of people listening will know that character from Glee, and that was our guest, Damian McGinty, of course. And Damian, there's one thing, as you said, your performance has to be a bit smaller on television, but there is nothing, is there, like playing in front of a live and enthusiastic audience? No. I think any performer will agree that the live experience is like none other. I guess when you're behind camera, they have very different elements to each of them. But behind camera is more difficult in some aspects because you have to be on your game for maybe 15 or 20 takes, maybe more. You have to continually give your best performance over a period of a few hours, which is obviously very difficult to sustain that and quite draining. But the difference with live theater and performance and concerts is that, you only get one chance. So you're not allowed any mistakes, any slip-ups. You have to be on your game. You have to be ready in that moment to strike and to give your best performance. So, there's different aspects to it, but I think any performer would probably agree. There's certainly no buzz like a live performance buzz. We feed off the energy of the audience.
they feed off the energy of us. And it really is. Sometimes it becomes a bit of a team effort, and then it's just like 2,000 or 3,000 people really enjoying themselves at the one time. And there is no buzz like that. It's one of my favorite things to do. I've been doing it for 10 years now, and I hope to be doing it for many, many more.
Now, you won your role on Glee as a result of a Fox TV show called The Glee Project. When you're here in the States, do you watch any of the number of singing competitions on American TV? And if so, do you have any favorites?
I try to catch up a little bit, yeah. I mean, the traveling schedule and, for example, in the fall, the concerts are 7:30, which is prime time for whether it be American Idol, which is obviously, over now, or America's Got Talent seems to be pretty hot at the moment. I think that's having a great season. I certainly try and keep up. I try to stay in with the times of what's currently going on. But I think as a performer, I always focus a lot on my own craft and sort of growing as a performer myself. So I think a lot of people would attest to doing the same thing. But of course, I keep up to date, and there's some great stuff going around at the moment. I think music's in a really good period, in a really good moment. There's a lot of great writing going on out there at the moment. So yeah, I think it's great, and as I say, America's Got Talent has had some really great moments this year, some really great contestants. So I've been keeping up to date with that a little bit.
Damian, you got started at a very young age with Celtic Thunder.
Yes, when I was 14,
Wow.
9 years ago almost.
So how did you get into showbiz originally?
I made a very amateur record locally in Derry City, where I'm from, in north of Ireland, and it, by coincidence, it fell into the right hands. It fell into Phil Coulter's hands, who's the original musical director of Celtic Thunder. And Phil rang my dad and said, "Listen, I don't know what I'm going to do with your son, but I'm gonna do something. Keep him on ice for the moment. Don't go into X Factor. Don't go into all those talent shows. Don't do anything like that. Just wait." And then 6 months later, Phil met Sharon Brown, who is our current producer in Celtic Thunder, and they created Celtic Thunder, the concept. And Sharon said to Phil, "Listen, we need 5 men now." Phil said, "No, we need 4." So Phil rang my dad and said, "This project, Celtic Thunder, perfect timing. I want Damian to come and meet Sharon Brown, our producer, show her what he can do." And then, from there, it's really history. So that's how I get into it. And as I say, 9 years ago, it was a little difficult to believe. But it's been a great experience, and I would not change it for the world. That is for sure.
And you were the boy soprano at 14, huh?
I was, yeah. I certainly had the highest voice at the time, but it was still very mature in its own right. I've never really had a high voice. It's always sounded beyond my age, beyond my years, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So, yeah, I started off, it was certainly a lot higher than it is now, that's for sure. I was doing Donny Osmond's Puppy Love. I was doing those sort of numbers, whereas, as I said, now I'm doing Falling Slowly from Once and Buchel and Ernia, which is an old classic, and Home by Michael Bublé. So I'm now a baritone, and that was a bit of a transition. That was pretty difficult at the time. But now come out the other side, and yeah, I'm a baritone. So it's been as I say, it's been that part has been a bit of a journey.
What music, when you were growing up, what music were you most influenced by?
I've always been I listen to a number of different styles. I mean, primarily I would say maybe the Frank Sinatras and the Dean Martins and Michael Bublé's and Sammy Davis Jr. I love that element of music, that sort of swing, big band feel. But I've been doing a lot of writing recently, and sort of coming in and around maybe a Coldplay, Chris Martin type feel, which is, obviously quite different than the swing stuff. Mm-hmm. So I love indie bands, and I love the swing artists, and that's sort of my vibe at the moment. So that's what inspires me.
Well, you'll be coming to Concord, New Hampshire on August 26th. Have you ever been to New Hampshire?
We have, yeah. I think we've performed there a few times. It's a gorgeous place. I have some friends up there. It's a gorgeous place. So I'm very excited. I've done a lot of traveling this year. We were in Australia in May. I spent a number of weeks in Europe. I've been in New York and Los Angeles, sort of all around. And to get to somewhere like New Hampshire again, it's pretty rare we get there, but I'm really excited to get there again. It's a lovely little place, and I'm excited to see my friends up there and hang out, and obviously perform the show. So it's going to be really, really great.
When does your tour begin?
We begin August 19th in New Jersey somewhere, so it's going to be exciting.
All right, and the 26th in New Hampshire, Capitol Center for the Arts. I understand you're a big Manchester United fan too, huh?
The biggest. Huge.
Very good. Well, we are certainly looking forward to seeing you, Damian McGinty, and the rest of the cast, which is terrific. And it's going to be, I guess it's very close to selling out already, and we still have a few weeks to go. But people better get their tickets real soon to see this great show.
That's awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you then. Looking forward to it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Damian.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Damian McGinty, an original member of Celtic Thunder back in 2007. Can you imagine, Lynn, that he was only 13 or 14 when he began with the Celtic Thunder?
That is really amazing that at this point, only 10 years into his career, he's had more success than a lot of artists have in their entire lifetime.
Isn't that
Truly a prodigy.
That's the truth. That is the truth. And has a very successful recording career that he was talking about, as well as his work with Celtic Thunder. The Legacy Tour coming to the Capitol Center for the Arts on August the 26th, and the showtime is 8 p.m. And Lynne Sabean, as you said, tickets are starting to get a little bit scarce.
They are. We still have some available. They start at a very affordable $48 and work their way up from there.
All right. And I also see we were talking about some of the events coming up. We mentioned a few, but we did not mention Buddy Guy, who is going to be there on September 24th. That's going to be a terrific show.
It is. He just turned 80 years old and has the energy and enthusiasm of someone a fraction of his age. We're really looking forward to having him here.
What a great performer he is, and an influence on people like Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and so many more. Well, Lynne Sabean, marketing manager of the Capitol Center for the Arts, we certainly appreciate you being with us today. Look forward to having you in on a regular basis, and it was great to chat with Damian as well.
It sure was.
And right now, without any further ado, we have a couple of tickets to give away for that performance on August 26th, the Celtic Thunder Legacy Tour coming to the Capitol Center for the Arts in downtown Concord. You can check out all the events at ccanh.com, and